Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of The Real Get to the Chopper. I'm your host Andy Godoy and today I'll be doing a fan commentary on one of my favourite films ever, Die Hard. Now the reason why I'm doing this because it's December, I'm pre-recording this, but this is because it's coming up to Christmas and hopefully by the time this comes out it'll be about a week and a bit around Christmas. So I'll also be doing Die Hard 2, so I'll also pre-recording that somewhere down the line. Now, to me, this is the ultimate Christmas film, and you can agree to disagree, but again, I'll point out why I think it is a Christmas film as we go along. But it's one of my favourite action films, absolutely love it, got so much to say about it. And with that then, quick few shout-outs, big shout-out to my best buddy, Damien Sayers, big shout-out to James Birch, who always sends me messages and funny little memes. And everyone at the Get to the Chopper community page on Facebook and also at Luke Hayes Payne. So thanks very much, guys. And as to the count of 3, 2, 1, press play. Right, so it says, this copyrighted material, ripping, copying, distributing. So we're at that point on the page. Oh, 20th Century Fox. Now, I never saw this originally in the cinema, but again, saw it on TV, VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray, and now 4K. Now, I have seen the 4K version probably like about a year and a bit ago. It's a film that I've got to watch pretty much every year. Absolutely love it. So interesting facts about this then. So apparently this is based on a novel. So Die Hard is adapted from the 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. Now I knew it was, but obviously I did a little bit of research because I wanted to give you guys as much info as possible. Now there's Bruce Willis on a plane. I'm not a fan of flying. Really not. I hate flying, but it's got to be done. Fist with your toes. Now that is something I still do to this day since watching this. Now this is the film that made Bruce Willis like a big time celebrity. I mean, he was somewhat famous, had starred, I think, in Moonlighting, the TV show, and I think maybe he'd done a film or two, but this is the one that really brought him to the mainstream. Now, this hits more, especially when you see him with a gun, with everything going on, and the second film especially. I love the third film as well. And beyond that, they don't exist. Ladies' man. The ladies like him. He likes the ladies. Christmas style music there. Now this is also directed by John McClane, who I believe also did Predator. When you could smoke at an airport. Now I must have been like about 10 or 11 years old when I watched this film. So I'm probably older now than Bruce Willis was when he first, when he started in this, because I'm sure he was in his 30s or whatever else, but it's one of those films that I love watching every year, and every time I watch it, I see something different. And Bonnie Bedelia, who plays, well, that's not Bonnie Bedelia. It's just when the name popped up. Bonnie Bedelia is like the actress that plays Bruce Willis's wife in this, and she returns in the second one as well. Really good. There she is in the background. Now, I am watching the 4K version of Die Hard, and again, if I can get one of my favourite films in 4K and watch it as close to the 35mm as possible, it's got to be done. Now, there are a few things I do want to point out and watch. This guy here, I always thought I recognised him. He actually plays the love interest to Helen Slater in the 80s film Supergirl. But again, he's got such a sleazy smile. You've got to love to hate him. It's got a hell of a good cast, actually. Some people feel familiar. Others, will seem familiar. So another bit of a fun fact then. So apparently it's technically a sequel to something called Nothing Lasts Forever was technically a sequel to Thorpe's earlier book, The Detective, which was made into a 1968 film starring Frank Sinatra. Did not know that. Good old IMDb. So because of that, Sinatra had been offered the role even though he was in his 70s. So I don't know how that would have worked, but you know what? I need to check out the that book, The Detective, or the film. I do love the 80s hair. I love the 80s fashion. And what I like about this particular 4K film is it's got its grain. Some people nowadays don't appreciate grain. You know, when film was shot on film, you know, that was all the information. This is the way it would get all the thing. You know, like if you're shooting at something at 35 mil, you can capture something, you know, so well done. And it's only recently now that something like 4K can match it with its high res quality, really. So yeah, big thing. I feel like nowadays as well, films don't look right. Shot on film, everything looks too clean, too shiny. This feels better. But I was watching something on YouTube on how films are shot differently as well. Films are sort of shot out of focus here. Everyone is in focus pretty much. You can see details in the face, slightly out of focus there. But nowadays, it's only like the main cast that are in focus and everything else is out of focus. And the way they shoot it as well, it's not a natural tone. It's just not good. It works for certain films. Good old Argyle. I like this guy. Argyle looks so young. I've never been in one. So John McClane's name apparently was changed in the book. The hero was Joe Leyland, not John McClane. They changed the name for a bit of a fresh start, really. And like I said before, Bruce Willis wasn't the first choice for this. The studio had thought about getting Sylvester Stallone, Schwarzenegger. Burt Reynolds is an interesting one. Richard Gere, Clint Eastwood, and even Harrison Ford. But most of them turned it down because they thought the plot was too contained. You know what? I can't imagine any of those guys doing it. Bruce Willis is the man, you know. He's got a humour, he's got a smirk, he's like an everyman, you know, he's not jacked. He looks like a normal guy that could be a police officer with a bit of a smart-ass attitude, you know. And it was more real. This is what made this film feel more real, because the problem with Stallone and Schwarzenegger, as much as I love those guys, they're untouchable, jacked up guys that just plow down hundreds of people, gunfire, and it's more like a video game. But this is more real because by the end of it, he is in agony. He's in pain. He's battered, bruised, cut, bleeding. He's been through the war. I love this film. Again, Christmas. They mentioned it again. And the song. Every Christmas reference, guys, have a drink. Do it. I should have said that at the start. Every time Christmas is mentioned, have a drink. Honestly, you're going to end up absolutely paralytic by the end of it. So yeah, apparently the building is a real building. The Nakatomi Plaza is actually the Fox Plaza, the real headquarters of 20th Century Fox. The studio literally filmed inside their own offices. And filming actually disrupted real workers. So during shooting, real Fox employees complained about the explosions shaking their floor during lunch breaks. Now this, a little bit coming up, is something I want to touch upon. I mean, again, I love this intro. Look how big the building looks. Now he asked about the party. He asked the guy, like, where are you going? But they're the only people there. So why wouldn't he go, oh, you here for the party? This bit never made sense. You'll see what I mean here. See, Holly McClane? Type it in there. Why? No one else is in the building, just people at the party. Everything is touchscreen now. Gennaro. Thirtieth floor. Here. See? Why didn't he just say that to him in the first place? That's the bit that never added up to me. Never really did. Fun fact for you guys. I worked as a security guard at, used to be called the Millennium Eye. Sorry, not the Millennium Eye, the Millennium Dome, now known as the O2 Arena. Did that for 1 year. And it was during that time where they had the diamond heist. And I'll let you guys know they knew about what was going to happen. They just had to let everything unfold. Fun fact. Yeah, so I was a security guard. I was up in the control room. But yeah, I think, the character John McClane is brilliant. Obviously, there's so much of Bruce Willis in this role. You can see it. He's likable. You can see him get agitated. You can see him. He's like a normal guy. He expresses quite a lot. And I like the way he's so out of his own element here. These aren't his people. This isn't what he's used to, This is all too grand. Even that just simple, like, God, this is too much. I'm like that sometimes if I go to a fancy do. Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. There we go again. Joe Takagi. Yeah. That's got to be so embarrassing for Takagi. How do you pronounce his name? Oh God, I'm butchering it. For the boss man. He's so annoying, that guy, Ellis. Father Christmas there. Again, Christmas. Now, the big debate is just because it's set around Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas film. But this feels very Christmassy to me. Look at, he's such a smug, arrogant prick. He does the role so well. Interestingly enough, though, Holly's name changed to, in the book, Holly is Leyland's daughter, not the wife. So the film changed it to make the story more romantic and less bleak. I mean, I like that. I like that part of the relationship where there's still love there, but they're probably too similar in personalities. No one wants to admit. And that's a big thing for Holly for us to say that. And that's enough to make John think, you know what? Oh, I forgot about that bit. Now, can you imagine if that scene was done by Schwarzenegger or Stallone? You know, them just wearing that little vest would have been a different scene altogether. And the way, don't get me wrong, Stallone can act. Schwarzenegger can to a certain extent, but a certain style. Another bit of interesting fact then. So apparently the extras who were actually partying around in the office, they were actually real life employees. So it was because it was filmed around the Christmas time. So the Merry Christmas atmosphere is real. And also the directors let them drink to loosen up the vibes. So yeah, like I mentioned there were like some of them were employees that worked in the building. Some of, you know, not all of them were. Some of them were mostly extras. I want to clear that bit up. But a few other people were enjoying the vibes. Now here's another interesting fact here coming up. I'll wait for it to show up. And I think I found this out because of YouTube. Did not know that. Okay, this truck here, it's not a big truck, yeah? And then later on, when the other vehicle comes out the back of it, there's no way that vehicle would have fit inside that other truck. This guy's good. This guy's been in The Karate Kid Part 2 and a few other films. Pretty good actor. I mean, you'd recognise him pretty much anything he's done, you know. This guy again, he's got glorious hair. And again, I don't think these guys would have been as intimidating if Arnie or Stallone would have been there, because you were so used to them sort of like kicking the crap out of everyone. And again, this feels more real. So let's look at this then. So when they open up this, you don't see anything in there. Where's the truck? There's nothing there. And then later on, another vehicle magically appears. And there we see Alan Rickman playing Hans Gruber. Now, Hans Gruber is probably one of my favourite film baddies ever. More so than Darth Vader, more so than sort of like, I don't know, like some other baddies in other films. I did not know this, actually. Apparently this was Alan Rickman's first film role. It was the first film, ever movie performance. And he'd always, just before this, done years and years and years of stage acting in the UK. But I did not know that. The guy was a star, And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Passed away, I think, a few years ago. Way, way, way too young. Guy was a legend. Everything he did well. Look at him. Suave, sophisticated, smarmy, evil, calculated. And again, what I like about this guy, Hans Gruber, he's calculating. Everything he does is done with a purpose, and he does it all. And I think all this is just done because he was a stage actor before. When he walks towards the camera, he's walking with a presence. This guy's good as well. I've always wondered, I should have figured this out beforehand. Like in certain places around the world that you always dub the film. Now, in Germany, is this film have they dubbed it to German? And if so, do the Germans still become German, or do the Germans become some other sort of like speaking language? Maybe it's role reverse. Maybe they're American. Who knows? See, I mean, this film is just little things like that. He loves his family, but obviously there's so much sort of resentment because his wife took the job and then sort of not stopped using her name, and they grew apart. But there is still love there. And this is what made this feel real. This guy just does not care. This guy's got to speed it up. Feel the pressure. And what I always liked about these baddies, again, they weren't generic baddies. They all looked different. They all had like their own character. They all felt and looked different, which is good. That's what baddies should be. They shouldn't just be someone you just kill off screen or kill and then you'd never remember them, but you want to know. Each of these guys has got a personality. Like that sort of Asian guy down there with the long hair. He played Genghis Khan. You can't see him there because he's behind Alan Rickman. He played Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He was also in Big Trouble in Little China. And he was in loads of other sort of like films of the era. I think he was a stuntman, but he also did acting. Hey, boobies. They've all got such wonderful hair. And again, I love the fact that he's barefoot. It builds up to why he's barefoot. There's a reason why he's barefoot, because of the stress, and he's making fists with his toes, and then all this happens. This guy's such a good actor. He's a perfect idiot asshole. And I love the fact as well that the building still is under construction. The music as well is really, really well done. Hey! No time for that, John. Put it away. Well, we don't know because it cuts to this scene, so who knows what you got up to. Needs to de-stress. Takagi, that's how you pronounce it. Look at Ellis. God, it's not me. I'm not Takagi. His face. Just look at that. Perfect stare. God damn, this guy can act. Even Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis looks scared. Look, Christmas tree there. It's a bloody Christmas film, I'm telling you all. Christmas again. Time for an Andy Goddard fun fact. I've been playing around with sort of like writing songs and then using AI to do the vocals and then to also do the music. And, obviously, like, I've been doing it now probably for about 6 months. And obviously, every time I've been doing it, it's been getting easier and easier and better and better. And I feel like I did a really good song. And the song's called Hans Gruber's Holiday. And it's basically about this man here, Hans Gruber. Really simple lyrics because I feel like I didn't want to overcomplicate it. And that's my little journey with trying to write songs that if I write them simple enough, like a few verses and a chorus and a few verses, I just let AI do the rest. It puts it sort of like with the music and the vocals. And obviously I have to say what sort of style of music, but I'll add it towards the end of the podcast. I really like the song, actually. The reason why I mentioned the song was because I mentioned the John Phillips suits. Again, I love this film, guys. There is probably in my top 5 favorite films ever. I would say Jaws and Back to the Future are in there as well. And again, he's not like over the top sort of like villain, you know. He's a professional. He's the best at what he does. He's a bad guy because that's what he does, is who he is. You can imagine the sort of like background that this guy's had. And obviously then there's his brother in part 3, which I thought that was really done brilliantly. But I'll talk more about that when we get to part 3 eventually. There's just something different about theatre actors. The way they say things, the way they express, the way they move. Ooh. This sort of film couldn't have been made. I love the way they made a bet. It just wouldn't work. That's the reason why films like Total Recall or The Running Man, certain films that, or of an era, just couldn't be done. And obviously you've had some films that have become pretty close, like Speed, you know, Under Siege was another sort of one. But it's not the same. This is so damn good. Even like Cliffhanger with Stallone in the mountains, kind of similar. Dum 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 dum. And what I like about this, they're showing the process of what the baddies are doing. They're not doing all this in the background, you know, in the back scene. They're actually telling the story like this is a trained operation. They're trained guys that have done this. I've been I've trained for this basically. If it had been another director or another sort of script, it would have been like, oh yeah, we set bombs off. This is what's going to happen. But no, it's showing the guys doing what they're doing. It's telling the story. And this is what I love about the story. It's like how he's going to get that open. He came in with a plan. There was plan A and then there was plan B. Again, the hint of the Christmas music there in the background. And again, this is another thing that he's famous for. Just talking to himself. And again, in this sort of stress situation, you would be like, oh my God, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? You would be. You know, release the stress, you know. And obviously, by the time part 4 and 5, it was just too over the top. Part 4, God. When they take out a helicopter with a motorbike, it was just so over the top. And John McClane became like almost like a Marvel character, could just survive anything, like could barely get hurt. Everything was over the top. The special effects became CGI. This, on the other hand, everything looked so grounded, so real. Now, a bit of an interesting fact. Bruce Willis did some of his own stunts. I want to say he did some of his stunts. It's probably him sort of like rolling on the floor or sort of jumping onto something or off something. You know, normally you get like your stunt people to do that, so that way to save the staff from getting paid. But obviously it's a lot more realistic when the actual star of the film does some of the stunts themselves. Obviously, I'm not talking about him jumping off the building or like falling down the elevator shafts, but there are bits where, you know, they could have used a stuntman, but they didn't. Oh yeah, we believe you. I think you're lying now. I'm surprised he didn't say, I'm sorry, my gun went off. I didn't mean to frighten you. This film's soundtrack is really underrated. Well, soundtrack or score, however you want to call it. Oh dear. And see, this is what I like about this already. He's already struggling. It seems like a real fight. Like, they're just smashing into each other. They're smashing into through doors and other bits and bobs. Whereas if it had been like another 80s action film, whatever, it would be like punch, punch, duck, like punch, punch. And this is more real. This is what I don't get. Bruce Willis isn't necessarily a tall guy, but this guy here, who's clearly about a foot taller than Bruce Willis, has smaller feet. I don't think so. Mm-hmm. And again, I like the fact that he finds all the stuff and he's going to do stuff with it. It does almost feel like a video game. Yeah, I don't think he would. His feet don't look smaller. Father Christmas, Santa Claus. It's a Christmas film. Yeah, earlier on I mentioned the guy that the black guy who's the coder guy, the hacker guy. His name is, well, in this is Theo, but I think in real life it's Clarence Gilliard Jr. And you know, I said he worked in Karate Kid 2. He also starred in Top Gun. I'm trying to see quickly on IMDb where else I know him from. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, 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 ho. She's thinking, oh God, that's that John. Ho, ho, ho. Fantastic. Again, Bruce Willis's character, John McClane, is 10 years or something as a policeman. So he's had the training, had some experiences, just writing down the names of all the people that he's got to deal with. And he's, like remembering this. Die Hard's video games. I think I played the NES game. It's not very much. I think it's a PC Engine game as well. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh my God, yeah. Can't forget the PS1 game. Die Hard Trilogy. Loved it. Plays absolutely terrible now. Hello. And yeah, there was Die Hard arcade game, which was just another game with Die Hard splashed onto it. Why did she have to say it was John? She knows what Ellis is like. I like the way he's like a little mouse weasel hiding behind her. And I love the way the building is a big part of the film. It's like another character in the film. I mean, look at the skyline view there. Yeah, he's just waiting. Why is she in such denial? Love that. Love it. God, these guys have got glorious hair. I've got to admit, this looks spectacular in 4K. The skyline view. Look, another Christmas tree there. Oh, hello, there's my cat. Love the scenes. I love the lighting. I love the smoke, the sparks, the feel of danger. Sergeant Al Powell. Reginald Vell Johnson. Obviously, he's like from Family Matters. We didn't really get that over here in the UK. Not until Sky Times bit. So I mostly knew him from Die Hard 2 and Ghostbusters. And I'll quickly have a look and see what else he's appeared on. Turner and Hooch. But mostly Family Matters. And there's that fan theory that this is all some sort of weird psychological dream. Well, the Family Matters show. After the trauma he sustains during this film. Another film, actually, which I think I'd recommend to people is Toy Soldiers. It's like Die Hard, but with some kids in a boarding school. Say kids, teenagers. It's got Sean Astin and a few other sort of Will Wheaton is in it as well. I love the claustrophobia of this film. Everything feels so like, again, it adds to the tension. It's just like there, he was almost free, he was out there, so close to freedom, and now he's back in the building itself, trapped. Damn scary. I don't know how you would have stopped it. The guy is like a cat, though. How many lives has John McClane got? Hello again. And what I like about this film here, Die Hard, it did change the way action films happened. It wasn't just like big muscles gutting down everyone. Films became smarter. Films became more real, I believe. Some would say it's a bad thing. Others would say it's a good thing. But this is an important film. One of the most important action films, definitely. Now this here, that's the reason why I was just going quiet. There's no way I would have done this. I would have been shitting myself. I wouldn't have had the grip strength. Oh, man. It's like he missed the first two. Luckily, he caught the third one. Damn. The grip strength just to do that. And again, famous being in the events. It's a good thing he picks up the lighter. And again, all these little things came in handy. I need to put my Christmas decoration of this on the Christmas tree. Oh, the tension. It's doing the right thing, this bad guy. Don't know how he did that so quietly. Now, don't worry, guys. I will be doing regular podcasts somewhere down the line. I still need to do my 1980s arcade episode. I had recorded it, but I don't think I was happy with the way it went. It was just a generic, here are like my 20 favorite arcade games, when I wanted to really tell a story. I also want to be able to do the podcast without sort of having to use or rely on sort of like music, which will get my podcast taken down, because podcasting's a lot more difficult now due to copyright. Honestly, guys, if you end up playing Die Hard on the PlayStation 1, on a CRT, looks terrible now, like early PS1 games do. But if you play it on a sort of modern display, like the PS1 Mini on a, HD TV or 4K TV, those early PS1 graphics are a mess. Yeah, the score in this is really good. And I feel that a lot of what John McClane's doing is the right thing to be doing. Trying to get attention, trying to get people to come into the building. Damn. Just the panic. Now, apparently this scene where Bruce Willis shoots the guy from underneath the table was actually Bruce Willis's idea on how to kill the guy. And it makes sense, you know, like, you've seen where his bullets have been flying from, so you roughly know where he is from the voice, him shouting, screaming, and it might be the easiest way to shoot the guy. Again, another Christmas song. Do love this scene. Little does he know what's going to happen to him. Boom. Just the sheer panic of him driving. Oh, that had to hurt. And again, the skin tones, the police sirens, the reflections of the light on the streets, the puddles, it all seems very natural. Again, the performance by Alan Rickman. He says that as soon as he has one. Hey, famous line. It's kind of hard not to just be absorbed with the film, just watching it unfold in front of you. Yep, he's got it. Right, the drilling starts. How do they get past the next drill thing without the drill? Don't know, every time I try and record with this, I don't know if it's because it's cold, but my cat decides to sit right next to me and it's molting. I don't know why. It should be keeping its hair, really. I mean, look at Powell. He's injured. He's going through a tough thing himself. All of them are. All the cops are. Sparks are flying. Gonna wait for the police chief guy to come along and then the FBI. This guy's a famous actor as well. See the guy from I forgot what it's called. The Breakfast Club. Is he? Let's have a look. Yeah, Breakfast Club. Paul Gleason. Trading Places. It could be. I think he likes that. Gennaro. She's a formidable woman, isn't she? I like they're all good, solid, strong characters. I like that. And what I like about this as well is just like all the actors aren't all there from the beginning. They all start arriving as the film starts unfolding, all the sort of bigger actors. The 4K on this is glorious. Like, and it's a really well shot film as well. You know, the cinematography is really good, and the framing, the way the director's chosen certain shots. It's funny how I started off being a little bit more chatty and talking, doing my commentary, and then as soon as the action kicks in, I'm just like sitting back watching. I try not to. I try to give the film some time to breathe, so that way you can actually enjoy the action as well without me nattering on. But sometimes I'm so caught up in the film itself that I forget I'm doing commentary and I'm just sitting there watching. I'm sat here stroking the cats that's on my lap, and I'm watching Die Hard. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm meant to be doing a commentary. Oh, I like this thing. It's little things like the guy gets stung by a rose, and this guy here, who's basically steals some of the sort of like the chocolate. I would do the same thing. I like the way he looks around. Like, it's like, oh god, hopefully no one will see me do this. Lots of little comedy bits here and there. And again, the music is really amplifying. I've got to say, 4K is beautiful. It really showcases the skin tones. And that adds a lot. You know, like Argyle's just a young guy. He really looks like a baby in 4K. Yeah, and apparently that guy was also in Top Gun Maverick. I love it when films show the police lights just slightly in frame, or just the reflections of them, or them lighting up certain parts of the scene. Adds so much to it. Beautiful. I love the way he knows. He's like, oh yeah, I could have told you that. I love the way, as the higher ups get, the more, not imbecilic, I don't know what the word is, they become less sort of, can't see what's going on. I just love how tense the music is. I love how competent these guys are and how efficient. Like, they've done this loads of times. They've trained for this. Boom. Love a good explosion. Explosions and flames and fire look amazing in 4K. Damn. Oh dear. Not quite sure how the C4 actually works. I always did wonder, like, he connected all that, and with the CRT TV and the monitor, what actually set it off? I thought it needed like a mechanism to ignite it. I could be wrong. I don't know how it all works, but it's a hell of an explosion. Damn. Holy shit. Love this bit. Whoa! A hell of a beautiful explosion. Hell of a stunt. That was fantastic. All of them are thinking, yeah, they're thinking like we've not seen anything like this. Now, I'm hoping that the police that were injured by the door managed to get taken away safely. Now, this guy here, the TV guy, he is Dickless from Ghostbusters. Look at Argyle. Mm. He's such an idiot. I love that. Look at his smile. I want to punch him. His voice. The music's really good. Oh, the realization's hitting. That's going to be so hard. Man, I love this scene. I love this scene between the two of them. This is what I love about this film. It's got dialogue between characters like this who aren't the main characters, but they're making their characters worthy and worthwhile for you to watch and be invested in. Again, I love the friendship that they've made from this. His face. Surprised they didn't use the phonetic alphabet. Delta, Alpha, Whiskey, November. Agents Johnson and Johnson. Now this guy's another famous actor as well. Sure he was in Goonies? Don't know why my cat's attacking me all of a sudden. I love this. The interaction they have. Love that look. I love this. It's like poker. both of them bluffing, both of them reading each other, both of them trying to suss each other out. And again, I love this scene, just the two of them. It's almost like it was like a stage show. I love it. I love the tension. Love the build. Love just that scene there. Love it. Still black poker. Love that. Love it. I love how fast he is on his feet. This film really just picks up. Oh, damn. Beautiful stunt. One of the most underrated stunts in the film, that was. And I've got to admit that the sound of gunfire in it is really intense. Damn. Surprised Die Hard didn't come out on the Speccy or the Commodore like a Game by Ocean. Would have been good. I wouldn't have minded if it had been sort of similar to Robocop or Batman. Same sort of style platformers with mini levels in between. And this is what I mean before. Look at him. This guy is hurt. He's injured. He's dirty. He's filthy. He's sweaty. He's cut. His feet are just like pouring with blood. He's been in a war, you know. That looks so really underrated. Practical effects looks super painful. And again, they didn't need to give this guy a backstory, but it adds more to it. And again, I just like how gritty and grimy and smoky everything is. Nowadays, everything would be crystal clear. It would look too perfect. Hey, it clicked. That guy is such a good actor. He's so intense. Christmas. Love it. Tell you what, I'm looking forward to doing Die Hard 2 as well. Die Hard 2 is a good film. It's just not quite as good as this. If it was standalone, it would have been amazing. Die Hard 3, I love it, but I feel like it towards the later half falls slightly down. But I'll do that film further down the line, maybe in a month or so or two, when I end up getting the Blu-ray version. But I'm definitely doing Die Hard 2 the week after this one. Again, storytelling. I just feel like current modern. I feel like such an old man. Not back in my days. Films nowadays don't do this, and it is different. It's either so over the top, special effects driven, not like this acting. I love the friendship. John needs this guy. This guy's such an asshole. The tension, the angles, the smoke, the atmosphere. Looks like all doom and gloom. The realization now in John McClane and all the C4. It is personal. You killed his brother. Boom. I love this fight. Feels very real. Very fast, ferocious, very primal. Less Hollywood, sort of like I love these sky thingy views with the lights on in the background and the buildings. Damn, that looked painful. Just that landing. And you know, it's really sad thinking about like Bruce Willis. What has he got? Alzheimer's or something like that? And he's not aware like now that everything he's done. And it's just a shame because, you know, talented actor, musician, personality, family man. McClane's a bit busy getting beaten up. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is what I mean. He is battered, bruised, shot, tortured, emotionally destroyed, everything. Oh, I forgot about that. Good, amazing kick there. Crazy shit. Very action-packed. You know, it reminds me of the Sega arcade game Thunderblade, which also was ported to the 8-bit computer, Sega Master System, and Sega Mega Drive. Although none of them can compare to the arcade game. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Again, I'm not saying much. I'm just getting really into the action. We're at 1 hour, 56 minutes in. And 48 seconds. I love just how he improvises this. I don't know if I would have the guts, so I've not got a head for heights. Love this. Beautiful. So memorable. Just the helicopter there. And this, the tension. The sniper. Boom. Jesus Christ. Hell of an explosion. Just amazing. Damn. Feet, I mean, the blood on his feet. I was going to say the feet and the blood. It's just one thing after another. He's safe. No, he's not. Just look at that. Really well done. I love that. The building is just such a important part of the film. again, look, there's a truck. That wasn't in there before, guys. Two bullets left. Christmas again. Damn. Come on, Argyle. I love that one punch. He's so proud of himself. Oh, love that shot. Love him, just the silhouette of him there with the sparks, the light. This is what I think films should be shot in film still. It just looks better. So yeah, the next few films I've got lined up then. After this, I've got Die Hard 2, probably do Enter the Dragon, and then I'll probably do a couple of 3D films like Coraline, Piranha 3D, and just a few other ones really. But other films I will be doing further down the line, stuff like American Werewolf in London, Poltergeist, Close Encounters, Jaws. I love the awkward laughter. I'm surprised that really managed to stay on there with the weight of the gun and the sweat and the blood. Damn. All the bonds just flying down. The Rolex watch that was given to her by Ellis. Hans Gruber. Now, this bit here is interesting. Apparently, they gave him a countdown from the height that they were going to drop him down. So they did drop him from a big height onto like a big sort of cushion thing. But they let him go sooner than he thought they were going to get lost. So that reaction there is a real like, holy shit moment. Because he probably thought he had like a few more seconds left. Hell of a stunt. Hell of a stunt. And again, stunt work, proper stunt work. A guy falling from a great height. Nowadays, it would just be CGI. Beautiful music. Sirens. The chaos, the aftermath. Look at the chaos that everything has happened. I was thinking, oh, well, those are all the bonds, but no, it's a big office building, so it's lots of regular A4 paper or whatever else falling down. Because I was thinking, how many of those bonds could you swipe? No one would know. I think that was the whole point of stealing them. That they're really hard to trace and sort of like... Kind of feels like the music and a bit in Ghostbusters. Who is the composer? Is it maybe it's the same composer from Ghostbusters. I need to check that out actually. Let's have a little look before this scene happens. Love this bit out of nowhere. Oh no, so the score was Michael Kamen. And I thought it maybe was sort of like the same composer as who did the score for Ghostbusters, but no, but that was Elmer Bernstein. Argyle. Yeah, you don't want to shoot Argyle. No, he's all trigger happy. Can you imagine? That would have just been a full circle moment. He finally gets the courage to shoot, and then he shoots another young guy. You tell him. Love it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Die Hard. I absolutely love this film. Like I said, it's definitely in my top 5 favorite films ever. It's just so action-packed, so full of great moments, story, shot beautifully. God, Bruce Willis is amazing in this. This is when Bruce Willis was in his prime. You know, I've got to do other films like, like Pulp Fiction somewhere down the line. But yeah, amazing soundtrack. Definitely is a Christmas film. And next week, I will definitely be doing Die Hard 2, unless my Blu-ray stops working. And yeah, so guys, just want to say thank you so much for listening, downloading. If you haven't already, please leave me a comment. You can join us on Facebook. You can listen on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and other podcast providers. Hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. And yeah, yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. And with that, goodbye from me.
He came down from the sky in a suit so sure. John Phillips threads. Yeah. He's looking the part, fake action smooth.